Hello and welcome everyone to MST 4070, Topics in Media Studies and Production. This is the soundtrack, and this semester we'll be exploring the soundtrack of screen media. And that means that we'll be exploring and listening to the music, the sound effects, the dialogue, the voiceovers, and all of the other audio elements as it relates to screen media. So this can be film, television, and video games, or at least those are the three main screen mediums that we are going to be looking at this semester. So I'm Dr. Laura Rissay. Hi everyone. So great to meet you. Yes, it is Laura Rissay, like the sun god Ra and say it. And I'm very excited to be here today. I got my PhD at Wayne State University, and I did my dissertation on music in the films of Wes Anderson. So there will be some Wes Anderson related material later on in the semester. But right now, I just want to get you into the class, and so that you are familiar with how this class is going to be taking place, and how you're going to move around in this 100% online class. So to get going, yes, everything is via Blackboard. I know you're super excited about that. So once you get into our class, you are going to want to make sure that you read over the syllabus. Now the syllabus is going to have a lot of information, and I have the syllabus available for you as a PDF that you can find. Well, let me go back here. Let me try to do this. So syllabus and orientation. So going back, you can either look at it as a PDF or as a Word document. So I'm just going to click on it as a PDF, and then you'll be able to see the syllabus just fine here. So this is probably a great opportunity for you to pull out the syllabus and give it a gander. So the syllabus has all the information like the class info, my name, how to contact me, and that's also information that I have located in the instructor section of your Blackboard section. It also has info for office hours, the class description, and the content specific description. So this is different from what's in the catalog for the most part. In a nutshell, in this course we'll be exploring the auditory element of screen media, film, television, video games, the soundtrack. The soundtrack is the overall sound design of a film, television program, video game featuring dialogue, voiceover, music, sound effects, and silence. By analyzing historical and contemporary examples of the soundtrack and screen media, students should have a better understanding of what the soundtrack adds to film, television, and video games, and also the importance of the soundtrack and how the soundtrack can be more important than the visuals. Da, da, da. Yeah. So make sure that you read over that. There are important things like your program outcomes, your expectations for this class, the fact that this is a 100% online class, so that's important. But there are going to be a couple times that we will meet. Yes, we will meet face to face via basically either WebEx or via Zoom. So and those are in the schedule. So these are things that are going to be important for you. In terms of what you need in terms of textbooks, you need this guy. Hearing, the movies, and this is by James Bueller and David Newmeyer. And this is going to go over not only the history of sound and some of the basics of sound, but this is just a great textbook about the topic of the soundtrack. Now, this is very film centric, but many of the things that are explained in here can be applied to television, and some of it can be applied to video games. Also required is this textbook, the Palmgrave Handbook of Sound Design and Music and Screen Media. And this one has a variety of essays in it. Now, we're not going to be reading the entire textbook, just like we will not be reading the entire Hearing of Music, but these are the books that you're going to need to get. There was a delay at the bookstore, but hopefully by now they have it, and it is also something that you can order online. So the textbooks. There will also be some articles and some links that will be listed on Blackboard as we get closer to those assignments. So these are things that we are going to have things laid out week by week, and you will have clips and videos that you're going to want to watch week to week. All right, so I did send an email before the start of class asking what kind of streaming services you all use. I would encourage you to send me that information. I'm going to send it again. But in addition to using Blackboard, it is really important that you have some sort of streaming media service. And some of you can become friendly and maybe share some passwords or do some meetups where you guys watch certain things together. Many of you seem to have Netflix and Hulu, and I really do hope that if you have Netflix, Hulu, if you have, even if you also have HBO Max or Disney Plus, Amazon Prime, these are all great. Now, I'm not asking you to subscribe to something new, but if you already have Netflix and Hulu, that would be awesome. If you don't have any streaming sites, we'll try to make things as easy as possible. I am going to have several clips that are going to be available via YouTube as well, since this video is going to be hosted on YouTube, but you'll only really access it on through Blackboard. But there are free streaming sites as well. Some of them you get commercials, so I will also gesture towards those for some things. And IMDb is also going to be an important website, not only for background information on films and television shows, but also you can watch things on IMDb television for free, though with commercials. And the same thing, a lot of YouTube, there's going to be a lot of clips, and there's going to be some things that are available for free. Make sure that you read over the technology requirements, but most of you, if you're taking this class is 100% online, then you are pretty familiar with the fact that you need to have access to Blackboard. For the most part, it's preferred that you use some sort of computer, whether it be laptop or desktop. You can use a tablet. Phones can be used, but they are not as reliable for doing coursework and that sort of thing. So please make sure that you do have some of these system requirements for the use of Blackboard. And you can read over that. In terms of activities, assignments, and requirements, you are going to have weekly discussion journals. Yes, and I'm going to refer to them as WDJs. Woo! And these are going to be things that are going to be questions that I'm going to pose to you that you will answer as it pertains to my lecture videos, as it pertains to the video clips that I give to you, and as it also pertains to maybe some films or television programs that I ask you to watch outside of class, as it pertains to that week's topic. Oh yeah, and don't forget readings as it pertains to readings as well. So the key thing to note about weekly discussion journals, they are due by end of day on Sundays every week. But guess what? You don't have one this week, so you're good to go. Okay, so don't worry, don't freak out. You're good. We are going to have a syllabus quiz. So, and I want to make sure that you have enough time to get the syllabus, read the syllabus, that sort of thing. So this will be due at the end of the second week of class. So I don't have that posted yet. I will let you know when it is posted. Okay. Which also means announcements are very important. We're going to have what is referred to as the soundtrack scene analysis. This is when you're going to pick a clip and you are going to analyze it as it pertains to the soundtrack. So, and I'll go into more information on that when we get to it closer into the semester. This will also involve us having one of our one-on-one Zoom meetings. So just want to make sure that you are aware of that. So it's either going to be Zoom or WebEx. And then finally, you have a research project. And your research project, you're going to take everything that you learned in this class and apply it to something that you want to go into more detail about as it pertains to the soundtrack. So this could be something as easy as you want to explore more of, say, a specific film composer. And so you want to look at their film work. So John Williams is a great example, and an example that I'll be going over today. That might be someone that you want to look at more closely. And maybe you want to look at his non-Star Wars films. Maybe you want to look at some of his other work. You might want to look at the use of sound effects in science fiction films. And you might pick a couple films that you want to explore the use of sound effects more specifically. You might want to look at the evolution of sound in video games and how it's gone from 8-bit to almost this realistic type of sound, and even at times it's very cinematic at times, yet at other times it's very much a video game. So those are all things that you will want to look over and start to think about. This is something that we're also going to meet up in discussing your topic, and also anything as it pertains to the research. We'll have that, and this is all mapped out in your schedule. And I do have all the deadlines in there. In terms of evaluation, everything is all listed there via points, so you can see all that, the breakdown of the syllabus quiz, the weekly quizzes, the soundtrack analysis, research topic, research bibliography, research paper, and total points possible. So they're all laid out there. In terms of late work, don't do it. And viewing grades, they'll be posted on Blackboard, and for the most part, it would typically take me about a week after the due date to grade items on Blackboard. But I will also give you an update via the announcements to say, hey, guess what? I finished grading, or oh, geez, I'm having a bad week. I'll get back to you. Grading scale is also listed in there, so you can always check that out. And we have our outline, and so as you can see, we've got our course outline. Again, these are all things that you can look over yourself, but it's pretty much a breakdown. So today, oh gee, I'm going over the introduction of the course right now. And then there are no readings for this week, but you're going to have readings for next week. So you want to make sure that you have it read. I'm going over the syllabus right now. Oh gee, that's a novel idea. I'm going over the class. Let's part of the syllabus as well. And then we're going to watch some clips. Yes, we've got some clips that I'm going to gesture towards for you to watch. So these are all things for you. And then next week we'll talk about basic terms and concepts. So I will apply some of that today. And we'll watch more clips, and I'll ask you to watch a few other things. So that is all basically laid out for you. After the schedule, you have some things as it pertains to course policies, how you're supposed to access Blackboard in terms of student identifying verification. So these are all things that you should already have. Basically, your login ID and password. Professionalism. Please, when we're communicating, please try to speak in complete sentences. I is uppercase. And also try to conduct ourselves in a professional manner. Don't get into fights with people on here. It's not professional. But for the most part, we're all adults here, and I know that we can be passionate about a few things, but for the most part, I don't think there's going to be anything that people are going to be like, want to get into. I doubt that. Though, you know, this isn't the same as social media. You are not invisible, even though I'm not seeing you. Can't see me. But it is something that that many of you already know each other, since many of you are juniors and seniors. So, you know, just if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all. Even if you don't like something, or if you don't like something, you don't have to be like, oh my God, your opinion sucks. That's not very cool. You could say, I agree to disagree that this film has a much better soundtrack than that film. But support. Don't be mean. Be professional. This is a class that is online. You're expected to keep up with everything every week. And it's probably going to take you a few hours to watch everything, read everything. It's a 3-credit-hour course. Online classes sometimes take a little bit more time, especially with because the readings are outside of the normal classwork and what would normally be our class face-to-face. So you got to also add time for that, and also for homework and discussion journals and that sort of thing. So you might want to come back to, you know, watching the clips over and over, or you might want to come back to the course a couple times during the week to complete everything. So you might watch this, and then you might want to watch some of the clips and then take a pause and then come back to it. You know, that's fine. Again, it's your pace. But the thing is that there are due dates after this week that are due every week. So you need to make sure that you keep up with that momentum. There is a whole website for netiquette. My big pet peeve is also what's in here. Typing in all caps is considered yelling. So, you know, unless you're really passionate about, oh my God, I really love Jake Gyllenhaal or whatever, you know, that's, you know, don't yell at me, please. There's a whole section on group communication. There's the opportunity for you to post responses to your WDJs, but again, that's not, it's not a requirement. This is just a way to share everything so I can read it, but also people will also see, hey, what are they working on? Oh yeah, I also wrote about you know, Star Wars: A New Hope, and I like what you had to say about it. But again, this is not part of your final grade. and individual communication. Please make sure that email, that you have proper subject, and you use your GSU email, and you properly identify yourself and all that fun stuff. So there's a lot of information in here. Incompletes, for the most part, it's very rare that an incomplete is granted. And there are other information in here as it pertains to the disability statement, Title IX, emergency preparedness statement, academic dishonesty. All work must be your own. Don't cut and paste other people's work and pass it off as yours. Just don't do it. And this class is, for the most part, set up so that it makes it easy for you to write about what you feel like. So, and then there is everything as it pertains to the COVID-19 in general. If you're on campus, you need to wear a mask regardless of your vaccination status. So if you do come and meet with me for face-to-face actual office hours, because I have both face-to-face and virtual, please make sure that you are masked up, and I'll be masked up as well. So there's a whole section on that, and then there's also a section on health and well-being. So again, syllabus, you can find it over here in the syllabus and orientation section of Blackboard. All right. So the next thing that you're going to want to access is the section called, of course it doesn't want to go for me, course content. And yeah, now it's taking forever. Course content is where there's going to be a folder each week that has each week's videos, and this is where you're going to find this. I'm going to direct you to this, but I'm going to also, I'm going to direct you. But each week you're going to have that there. So make sure, oh gosh, you click